I thank you, God, for this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees and a blue, true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. I, who have died, am alive again today, and this is the Son's birthday. This is the birthday of life and love and wings and of the gay, great happening, illimitably earth. How should tasting, touching, hearing, seeing, breathing, any, lifted from the no of all nothing, human merely being, doubt unimaginable you? Now the ears of my ears are awake, and now the eyes of my eyes are opened. What a delicious way to begin with that poem from E.E. Cummings. So today we are doing several things in our service. We are celebrating Kay Spade, a church member who died this spring. Some of her family is with us, which is wonderful. And we are celebrating books and reading and poetry, because Kay was many things, but she was definitely a reader. She was in 2 book groups and a study group, and maybe even more up to the time of her death. And she left behind a very thick folder of things she wanted in her memorial service, favorite poems, and only about half of which we'll be able to get to today. We used some in the service, her memorial service, and we're using some today. And we'll be exchanging books, which will be fun to see. It's been fun to look at everything you brought in and everything that we'll each get to take home differently. So in this moment, when books, especially for young people, are being challenged and banned, let us remember our commitment to the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Let us remember our truth that revelation is not sealed, that truth can be found anywhere, everywhere, and is forever making itself known. Within the pages of books, of course, but also within our own hearts and our own minds. So come, let us gather. Come, let us read and think and learn. Come, let us worship together.
My name is Chris Mazarosh, and I'm on the Sunday Service Coordinator Committee, and I'm your Sunday Service Coordinator this Sunday. I want to welcome everybody here. You know, I think there's many analogies we could make about people being like books, that we come in different sizes, and there's like some of us, we dress like very common titles, some of us dress like very exotic titles, and so it's just fun to see you guys all shelved up as you're sitting out there. And I'm excited about today's service, and yeah, I'm excited to be the coordinator today. Let's get to some poems.
But before poems, we have announcements. So we are starting to form a crafting group here at the church. So if you would like to help shape what that is going to be, please meet with Anne after the church by the windows in the foyer. I don't know which Anne, so just show up and be surprised. There's a few Annes. It wasn't in the announcement that I got. Next Sunday, church member Josh Holcomb will be leading the service, and we publicized that he would be performing with Orchestra Jambalaya, and unfortunately they cannot be with us. We'll have them another time, but it will be good. Josh is, if you don't know his name, you know him as the one who plays the viola, so it will be good. And it is time to register for the Isaac Walk, Run, Roll event, which will be held on Saturday, September 9th. I hope you will join my family and me there. I'm going to share kind of a lot of details, but there's a table in the foyer, so if you miss anything, go there. And Alan or whoever else is staffing the table after the service will help you know. So one of the important things to know, you don't have to walk or run or roll. You can just show up and have a good time with other people. Together, celebrate the beloved community and our work for love and justice in Kalamazoo County. If you cannot attend but would like to support others who need assistance to attend, you can buy a ticket for someone else instead. You can do that through the Run registration website. You can find more details about that at the table. And People's Church is fundraising to have an ad in the program book that's part of that. And if you want to help us reach our goal, we are nearly there. You can find more information at the table as well. And we are about a month away from our water service, which is our big ingathering service at the beginning of the church year. And so I just wanted to remind you all, and remind those of you who might not know, that we begin by the church year by inviting people to bring water to the service that is from someplace meaningful to them. So if you're heading to a lake or something like that soon and want to scoop up a little bit of water in a tiny jar, we invite you to do that. I just got cats, so my water will be from the cat's bowl in the kitchen. But you decide what is meaningful and bring that water. And now we are going to sing our opening hymn. This is adapted from a Buddhist metta loving kindness meditation, and a very similar meditation was in the materials that Kay left for all of us. So I think this is a good one to sing sitting down, right? To sort of feel the meditation in your body. Okay, so I invite you to make yourself 10% more comfortable in your seat, more if you can pull that off, and let us sing. Right there.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
The avowal. As swimmers dare to lie face to the sun, and water bears them, as hawk rests upon air, as air sustains them, so would I learn to attain free fall and float into Creator's Spirit's deep embrace, knowing no effort earns that all-surrounding grace.
In addition to our chalice lit here at People's Church, this morning we have chalices, metaphorical or real, lit in Paw Paw and in Madison, Wisconsin. People's Church is a community that supports one another in good times and hard times. One of the ways that we do that is we take time when we gather to invite those who wish to share the joys and sorrows and milestones of their lives. So if you have something you wish to share, if you're with us on Zoom, I invite you to type it into the chat box. If you're here in person, I invite you to come forward, place a stone in your bowl of water, speak briefly, and be sure to tell us your name. Stones in our bowl for all of the joy and sorrow we're holding quietly in our heart today, the joy and sorrow in our wider community and our wider world. Sources of reason and radiance, sources of courage and compassion, keep watch with those who work or watch or weep this day. May the suffering be soothed. May the weary find rest. May the sick be tended. May the dying and those who love them find peace. May the joyous be shielded. And may all of us know we are wrapped in a love that surrounds us always, a web that connects us to all that exists.
There are Buddhist teachers who say children's job is to knock us off our journey so that we gain discipline.
I don't think that's knocked us off our journey, though, Chris.
No.
I think children's joy wafting through the church, that's better than silence. That is better than our silence. People's people are generous people. And this moment, I was going to sing the praises of the library committee. Lois already did some of that, which is okay. She gave you the main highlights, but the things that I want to say that are so wonderful about our church library committee is the library gives a place for the people who are a little nervous about coffee hour to hang out. If you're not quite ready to make eye contact with other humans, you can make it with the books. And then maybe someone will talk to you about the books and you can sort of ease your way in. And that is a gift. I know in the past, the library, I think was in where my office is now. Before the expansion. And I think it's so great to have it out in the center like that. And then the collection is really good and very specific for our church. Right? So there's a lot on Unitarian Universalist history and things and theology, books that are out of print that are there that I turn to. And I know, when a family wants a children's book about the death of a loved one or divorce or something like that, I know the ones that we have there are vetted. I don't know what the ones in the public library are going to say necessarily, and they won't always be in line with our values. But to have this smaller collection of books that we know are trustworthy for us and good and affirm the things we say we are is such a gift. And I had a meeting with someone just this week where at the end of the meeting, we went to the library and I'm like, oh, you should check out this one and this one and this one. And then they went off on their way with the resources they needed. So this is the time where I invite you to continue being the generous people that you are, giving your time and your expertise and your money to support the good and important work of this church. The offering will now be received.
Please join me in giving thanks for all that sustains us. From the countless gifts we each have been given, gifts of life and love and sustenance, we bring these small portions to share in the works of love which none of us can accomplish alone. Longing. I am not sorry for my soul that it must go unsatisfied, for it can live 1,000 times, eternities deep and wide. I am not sorry for my soul, but oh, my body that must go back to a little dearth of dust, without the joy it longed to know. Loveliest of trees. Loveliest of trees, the cherry now is hung with bloom along the bough, and stands about the woodland ride, wearing white for Eastertide. Now of my 80 years and 10, 20 will not come again. It takes from 70 springs a score, it leaves only me 50 more. And since to look at things in bloom, 50 springs are little room, about the woodlands I will go to see the cherry hung with snow. Dear lovely death, dear lovely death, that taketh all things under wing, never to kill, only to change into some other thing. This suffering flesh, to make it either more or less, but not again the same. Dear lovely death, change is thy other name. Sunday morning. Shall she not find in comforts of the sun, in pungent fruit and bright green wings, or else in any balm or beauty of the earth, things to be cherished like the thoughts of heaven? I died for beauty, but was scarce. I died for beauty, but was scarce, adjusted in the tomb, when one who died for trust was lain in adjourning room. He questioned softly why I failed. For beauty, I replied, and I for truth. The two are one. We brethren are, he said. And so, as kinsmen met a night, we talked between the rooms until the moss had reached our lips and covered up our names. Stopped by woods in snowy evening. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though he will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. She is made one with nature. She is made one with nature. There is heard her voice in all music, from the moan of thunder to the song of night's sweet bird. She is a presence to be felt and known in darkness and light, from herb and stone, spreading itself where'er that power may move, which has withdrawn her being to its own, which yields the world with never wearied love, sustained it from beneath and kindles it from above.
The grandmother. Better born than married, misled, in the heavy summers of the river bottom and the long winters cut off by snow, she would crave gentle, dainty things, a pretty little cookie or a cup of tea, but spent her days over a wood stove, cooking cornbread, kettles of jowls and beans for the heavy, hungry, hard-handed men she married and mothered, bent past unbending by her days of labor that love had led her to. They had to break her before she would lie down in her coffin. I wandered lonely as a cloud. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle in the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 I saw at a glance, tossing their heads in a sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. The afterlife. While you are preparing for sleep, brushing your teeth or riffing through a magazine in bed, the dead of the day are setting out on their journey. They're moving off in all imaginable directions, each according to his own private belief. And this is the secret that silent Lazarus would not reveal, that everyone is right, as it turns out. You go to the place you always thought you would go, the place you kept as an alcove in your head. Some are being shot off flashing colors into a zone of light, white as a January sun. Others are standing naked before a forbidding judge who sits with a golden ladder on one side, a coal chute on the other. Some have already joined the celestial choir and are singing as if they have been doing this forever, while the less inventive find themselves stuck in a big air-conditioned room full of food and chorus girls. Some are approaching the apartment of the female god, a woman in her 40s with short, wiry hair and glasses hanging from her neck by a string. With one eye, she regards the dead through a hole in her door. There are those who are squeezing their body into the bodies of animals, eagles and leopards, and one trying on the skin of a monkey like a tight suit, ready to begin another life in a more simple key, while others float off into some benign vagueness, little units of energy heading for the ultimate elsewhere. There are even a few classicists being led to an underworld by a mythological creature with a beard and hooves. He will bring them to the mouth of the furious cave guarded over by Edith Hamilton and her three-headed dog. The rest just lie on their backs in their coffins, wishing they could return so they could learn Italian or see the pyramids or play some golf in a light rain. They wish they could wake up in the morning like you and stand at a window examining the winter trees, every branch traced with the ghost writing of snow. That one is one of my very favorites. And now it is time for our book exchange ritual. For those of us here in person, everyone, even if you didn't bring a book, is invited to come forward, but I'm going to explain it all for a little bit, don't move yet, and select a book from our table of books. And if that movement is a challenge for you, either ask someone near you to grab you something, or I can help you. As you select your books, I invite you to leave space for surprise and kismet. This is not the moment for spending an hour in the bookstore reading every book jacket, trying to find just the right thing. You know, perhaps you'll see something you've been meaning to read and grab it, but perhaps a title or a cover, or just because it's close, will be the one that you want today. And if you get back to your seat and discover it's just really not something you want, you can always take it back at the end of the service and trade it out. And for those of you on Zoom, if we can identify you from your Zoom name and you are in Kalamazoo County, we have your address on file at the church, you can expect a book delivery later today with a few treasures. And if you want to make sure you have your address and know who you are, you can put something in the Zoom chat directly to me, and you will get something. It will be even more of a surprise. Okay, let's do this. So I invite people to kind of move and come past the table from that side and move back to your seats this way. So we're kind of making two circles, if that makes sense. Go. So it feels a little cruel to tear you away from your new books. And so if you want to find like a quiet corner to read rather than have a little small group discussion, you are invited to do that, whatever you need to do. But it is the time to break into smaller circles for about 15-ish minutes of conversation. And so I invite you to, groups between 3 and 7. You guys know this drill by this point in the summer calendar. If you're sitting next to someone with whom you share a home, I invite you to kind of split up so you can talk to some new folks if you want, because you guys can talk over dinner, right? And the questions that I've selected for you all, although I think one is just what about this book made you want to grab it, but also what are the poems or quotes or other artistic works that are most meaningful to you? If you were going to leave a folder of poems or photographs or sculptures or whatever it is, movies, what would be in it? And then turn to page 12 of your book, and what's the 7th word on that page? Or another word nearby if you get stuck with a the or something. And how could that word be a guide for you this week? So I invite you to be in smaller circles for conversation. And on Zoom, join a smaller group and we will reconnect in a little while. So this is your 1-minute warning. I invite you to say your final profound thoughts, knowing that you can keep talking when the service is over. I invite you now into whatever position helps you sing your best for our final hymn.
Just as long as I have to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
And our final words today are also ones that Kay Spade valued. I went on quite a journey trying to find the attribution for this week. It was published in the Journal of Religious Humanism in 1997, which is not available anywhere on the internet, but I found the daughter of the author, who is also a Unitarian Universalist minister, as was the author, Lee Hubble, who was so delighted that her dad's words made an impact. So here they are. Let high ideals inspire our lives and guide our steps. And let these ideals reflect what is real, transcendentally. We face the utterly inexplicable, incomprehensible strangeness of life and existence. Before it, we can but cover our mouths with our hands in mute silence and wonder. Let us then go our way in peace, joined as comrades, walking together into eternal mystery with good spirit. And let us love one another. For all the love we humans will ever know is what life on earth creates for life, is the love we show each other. May this love be real, not just words, but deeds, caring for one another. Amen. Be it so. Be it so.